remember watching all of the mainstream Star Trek the series when I was a kid.
Yeah, man.
What time did it come on?
From Next Generation on up.
What time do they come on?
Star Trek,
Dude, they come on whenever you want them to. It's called streaming.
No. I'm talking about growing up, man. What time did it come on?
You had Star Trek. If you had cable, you had Star Trek every hour of the day.
So here's the thing about my child. Here's the thing about my childhood. Since y'all
weren't you?
What, on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, at Sunday evening.
Well, sometimes because I played drums in church.
Right. So Star Trek came on Sunday nights.
Yeah, so I was driving. I was driving home from church. But let me tell you about my childhood. Y'all talking about y'all had cable, man. I didn't have cable.
We didn't have cable.
We had
in the library.
So I get Gimpy was talking about having cable, man.
No, Star Trek came on.
No, but no. What I was saying is with cable, you could have Star Trek every hour of the day.
Star Trek came on Fox 45.
That's right.
Came on Channel 9 by me. UPN. Or whatever. But I'm saying with cable, you could have Star Trek every hour of the day. One of the channels would be running a rerun of like Next Gen, like TNT used to have nothing but Next Generation episodes for forever.
Remember? Yeah.
Well, look, man, I didn't have, and hey, guys, welcome to Just the Guys, but they're just picking on me for not ever seeing an episode.
No, yes. For not having
for not seeing an episode of Star Trek. So we had 2 TVs in the house, and my parents were the ones watching them. So I had to watch whatever they watched. And oftentimes it might have been CBN, TBN, whatever
those Christian channels.
The Christian channel was. So
your cable box when you was a kid was locked on channel 65. 60,
I didn't have cable.
Dude, they made him stand on top of the TV and go like this.
Right.
How were you seeing CBN then? CBN was
so it's TBN. It's whatever the
TBN.
TBN.
Oh, okay.
No, TBN was cable only. I thought.
CBN was cable.
It was one of the Christian channels, man. I don't know which one it was. It was just one of them. The 800 700 Club would come on. That whatever channel that came on.
Got you.
Yeah, man.
Oh boy.
All right, guys. Welcome to Just the Guys. We are live. It is Saturday. If you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe to Just the Guys podcast. Of course, we do our recording on Saturdays, and our podcast episode gets released on Wednesdays. Got my crew with me. Say what's up, Gimpy, CT, Tyrone, and of course, back with us is Isaiah. Say what's up, fellas.
What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
Man.
Really?
Hey guys, in my chat, please hit the link and come over to Just the Guys podcast and subscribe, guys. Salute to everybody that's in my chat.
Right on. So, guys, today we are asking the question: are too many women being pushed in the front line? I mean, just this week, we saw the whole Renee Good. I'm actually going to play a clip of that in just a moment. But Renee Nicole Good, she's out there protesting or demonstrating or whatever they call it nowadays. And, found out that these ICE agents aren't playing. So, I'm sending prayers to her family. It's a very unfortunate situation. However, why are we seeing so many women on the front lines nowadays? What is going on? And to me, this is another example of the communist influence that we have that has infiltrated and subverted our culture. Now, these aren't end goals of the communist goal. Well, these aren't end. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but these aren't the objectives. But each one of these do mark the next step to get to a communist or infuse a communist culture, so to speak. So when you promote easy divorce or women being the leaders or raising children away from the parents, it does create a culture in which order has been forgotten and destroyed. So again, we're going to be investigating that and looking into that a little bit further today. So again, make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. So I want to go ahead and play this because a little bit more breaking news has come out. I don't know if it's called breaking news, but some more details about Renee Good. And this was from a local news station. I forgot which one. I think it's in Ohio. It's out there by you. But this was breaking, giving a little bit more details about Renee Good.
international correspondent Kayla Gaskins in Washington. The investigation into the ICE shooting in Minneapolis is taking a new turn as we learn more about the victim. Federal sources say Renee Good, the woman shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis this week, was involved in a, quote, ICE watch group that trained members to interfere with ICE monitoring and sometimes attempting to interfere with President Trump's nationwide illegal immigration crackdown.
You have a woman who was trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. I can believe that her death is a tragedy while also recognizing that it's a tragedy of her own making and a tragedy of the far left who has marshaled an entire movement, a lunatic fringe against our law enforcement officers.
This picture of Good is in sharp contrast to those who knew her.
A neighbor who, you know, is not a terrorist, not an extremist. That was just a mom who loved her kids, loved her spouse.
Critics supportive of Good insist the ICE agent was not in any danger and wasn't justified in firing at her.
Give me a break. No, he was not ran over. He walked out of there with a hop in his step.
Legal systems widely recognize vehicles as potential deadly weapons, with investigators looking at speed, direction, and intent to determine whether deadly force is justified.
You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
In this incident, video from social media, including footage purportedly shot from the agent's phone, shows the SUV moving in the agent's direction before he fired. Investigators say all of these factors will be closely examined as part of the ongoing probe. The agent, identified as Jonathan Ross, was also previously dragged and injured last June during an attempted arrest, illustrating the risks the Trump administration says they face during operations.
Right now, immigration and customs enforcement officers are facing a 1,200% increase in assaults, a 3,200% increase in vehicle rammings, and an 8,000% increase in death threats.
In the wake of the shooting, the FBI...
All right, Tyrone, man, what did you see there, man? Go ahead and get you some lunch, big boy.
Yeah, you know, it's an epidemic of people who don't understand how the world works, okay? We live in a fairly decadent society without, if you really want to call it, when you look at other areas throughout the world, United States is relatively low on the scale of countries with problems, okay? Now, this happening in looked like a working class to moderately affluent neighborhood. These people are riding around town pursuing ICE all day, okay? Maybe they're getting paid for it, who knows? But at the end of the day, I think everybody on this panel is well aware of the fact that you do, first of all, you stay the hell out of business that's not related to you. Okay, that's number one. So if you see somebody getting arrested on the side of the road, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what that person is alleged to have done. Mm-hmm. So you stay out of that. Okay, it's not your business. Number one. Number two, what about you guys? I've always known that challenging a cop with your vehicle is something that'll probably get you taken out of here.
Yep.
I mean, I've always known that, right?
Yes.
So first of all, I don't want to, if I am stopped by the police, I want to make the interaction as quick and as easy as possible, right? Here's my license, here's my registration. I'm not playing this bullshit sovereign citizen crap with you. And I'm going to be on about my way. I'm certainly not pursuing cops around town trying to interfere with their business.
Okay? How dumb does that sound, man?
It's idiotic. So these two, and remember, you hear clearly on that tape, she says, drive, baby, drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
She should be held responsible for that.
Wow.
Okay. And when I go back and I look at all of the videos concerning this, the woman in the car, she kind of seems like she's not totally with it. It's the other one that seems like she's full on vested in this agitation. And she said that when she's grieving, she said, I got her taken out of here. Okay. Because she probably, hey, come on down, let's do this. And well, I was going to say, where's the husband? But that's an obvious answer.
I mean, that was the husband, right?
Right.
That's
right.
I
So
have a little bit of information on that, by the way. So for one, well, before I begin, let me just open this up with an infamous quote from George Orwell. It was always the women, and above all, the young ones, who were the most bigoted adherents of the party, the swallowers of slogans, the amateur spies, and the nosers out of unorthodoxy. That is what was on display in that incident earlier this week. Okay. This woman, Renee Good, was, got to make sure we get the pronouns correct on that one. Renee Good was someone, she was a communist. She was someone who was involved in a watch group that was patrolling Minneapolis for instances of, for basically to fuck with ICE agents. And they had already been in the situation. They had already messed with ICE 3 times before that. So this was incident number 4 of the day. Okay. The reason why she was with that 13-year-old boy looking girl was because her husband died back in 2023, if memory serves. She only had, out of the 3 children that this woman had, she only had custody of 1. She only had custody of 1 of those kids. The other 2 safely far away from that. So within 2 to 3 days, we had like complete and total narrative collapse about this woman.
Yeah.
This is someone who, as sad as it is for the child who will now basically not have a mother or a father at this point, because like I said, the father passed away in 2023. That's the biggest victim out of all this. But in terms of the incident itself, I do not feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her. Her little boy girlfriend needs to go to jail too. Okay, and there is so much happening right now with this incident. There are, as we speak, there are thousands of Antifa and communist soldiers in the streets of Minneapolis right now. They are marching and they are advancing. They were already messing with. They went in and destroyed like 2-3 hotels last night. The chief of police had to get up out of there. Right, like it's been
they seeded whole streets,
seeded entire streets. It's like the fucking urge right now in Minneapolis. It's a bad situation, and the thing about it is, what people need to understand about communism is that they don't need truth. Truth works for people like us.
Yep.
Okay. Truth works for people who actually who are committed to. We are talking about mentally ill, psychotic, narcissistic people who worship government because it's the only bit of fucking structure they've ever had in their lives.
Wow. CT, man. Hey, bro. I mean, our goal here, man, is to bring back shame, because like all this, man. A lot of this is shameful, man. CT, I wanted to get your thoughts, man. You saw this week. You know, the left has been really busy this week. I don't know how they're mobilizing so quick. First they had Venezuela, now they got Renee Good, man. But what is your thoughts, man? What is it? What are you seeing here? Why is she out there on the front lines like this?
She's ugly. I'm just gonna be honest about it, man. I didn't know how I was gonna say it. I'm just gonna come out and say it. She wasn't attractive, and she had no pretty bitch privilege. And I hate to say this, man. I really believe the uglier you are as a female, the more you need to be inside the home, the more you need to be domestic. Because that cop, man, you know, people in the chat, you know, were saying, oh, he was gonna, he shot her because he was gonna get ran over. Yeah, I get that. But has she looked like Cindy Crawford or Margot Robbie or some pretty, one of your average pretty white chicks? Shout out to Kung Fu CJ with the $5 super chat, says, what's up, guys? And guys, by the way, guys, if you are in my chat, hit that link and come over to just the guy. Salute. But had she been attractive, that cop probably would have hesitated about a second, maybe. You know, when you're not that attractive, man, a lot of, here goes the reality of the real world. A lot of men are going to treat your ass like a man. And she got treated like a black man that day. So I said this the other day, man, and me and a few buddies on the channel, we didn't come to a conclusion about why the cop shot that quick, which he should have shot quick. I mean, obviously she has a 2,000-pound bullet, but
4,500.
Yeah, a lot of these women, man, you know, they're not in their natural habitats, and they're gonna be, you know, they're gonna be. I listen, man. She probably is never at the local police level. There's oversight committees. She probably goes to citizens or civilian meetings on the police and telling them what to do. But she effed around and found out with the feds, man, and the feds sent her ass up to the upper room or the lower room, whatever one she's going to, or she's.
Man, you make an interesting point because I actually brought up. I have a clip that I prepared for this. It's funny that you said it's ET, but I'm starting to think maybe, you know, even weight is being used as a resist arrest tactic. So look at this woman. I mean, she clearly is just sitting down.
Yep. That's a land whale right there. And she is absolute. Listen, all that. Yeah. Look at that.
So I mean, just sitting down resists arrest.
Fucking baby oil would be. They'd be hard as hell. God damn.
So Gippy, I want to get you in here, man. What are your thoughts, man?
This might be the first of many times tonight, but where you guys all see chaos, I see potential drone strike opportunities.
There we have it.
All over Minneapolis.
Oh, please. Yes,
all
please.
over. At
Yes,
every
please.
single one of those locations, we have a fleet of M2 Raptors and such we can use. I'm just saying, man, they're going to do it to us. Go watch what they're saying.
Oh, they can't wait. Oh,
Dude, Mehdi Hassan had a whole thing. I forget who he was interviewing. I think it was, I can't even remember now, one of his cohorts. He was saying that the Democrat who promises retaliation, retribution, and prosecution will win.
Yep.
So, dude, get them before they get us.
Yeah, keep talking, Gippy.
I do actually agree with that.
Dude, I'm just like, it's time. At some point, like this, dude, this woman felt, we live in a culture in our country where people literally feel justified to walk up to military armed federal enforcement in the legal engagement, enforcement of their duty and throw their car at them.
Yep. Dude,
that's insane. Or what about that guy who grabs the M4 and then he gets pepperballed in the face? Not at this. There's the other video that's going around.
And he was hurt behind that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, what on what planet? What's next? What's your next move? You get that gun out of the federal agent's hands. What do you do next? Open fire? Like, what was your next move when the rest of the feds start shooting at you for pulling that gun off of him? Because that's what happens next. That's protocol. You pull the weapon off an officer, they're just going to light you up. They're not even going to ask questions.
Nope. And it's about, and I'm telling you right now, they are the sooner, the longer the longer President Trump drags this out. And by this, I mean declaring an insurrection, invoking the Insurrection Act, sending in troops, and getting and locking up Tim Walz, Jacob Fry, and Keith Ellison. The longer this drags out, I'm telling y'all, ladies and gentlemen, 2026, Democrats are going to win. I'm telling you right now.
So you're saying we need to put an end to this right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not only does an end have to be brought to this, it has to be dramatic. It has to be graphic. It has to be nasty. Because listen, consequence culture, baby.
Yeah.
That's where. Remember, these people were not even remotely sorry or restraint or having any type of restraint when it came to using power.
Yeah, you're right.
These people have no chill when it comes to using political power. When the levers of power are in their hands, when they say, when we take power again, and we're going to lock them. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be mass murder when Democrats get back in here. I'm not even going to play around. I'm not going to mince words.
And look,
hurt as many people as they can, man.
So soldiers, I want to get your response, but I want to play this real quick because it kind of backs up what Gimpy is saying. This was done. I think I saw this on Sarah Field's page. She shared this. Shout out to Sarah. Yeah, shout out to Sarah. Sarah is censored on X. But I want to play this, and I want to get your reaction, soldiers.
With no cause. And murdering people for trying to flee and for obeying a command to leave the area, and then shooting her in the face like that after she drops her kid off at school. We have to show up with guns.
I mean, notice the framing after she drops her kid off to school, not following ICE agents intentionally, right?
Right.
We have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota carry permit. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a weapon. There's no way.
Let them start.
I got shot with a pepper ball 5 minutes after walking in here. I never laid a finger on them. I never raised a hand to them.
Now listen to this, guys.
I've been using my voice. The time for speaking is over. The time for niceties is over. The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It is time to end this shit by any means necessary.
You're talking about, potentially going to a dark place in this country.
Listen.
We're there. This is the dark place. This is the dark time. We have people being sent to Salvadorian concentration camps. We got other countries being raided for their oil. We're in the dark time. There's no way out of this. There's no voting our way out of this. We can't wait till November. There's no waiting to the ballot box. We need to get to the bullet box.
Ooh. So there you have it. Soldiers, your immediate reaction, man. We got to get to the bullet box is what this this heavyweight gentleman said.
Yeah, and he's being completely honest. So that's good. He is pretty much broadcasting the intentions of a growing contingent on the left. All right. Look, we got Zohar Mamdani. We got Brandon Johnson. People make a big deal about Zohar Mamdani, but Zohar Mamdani was not the first socialist mayor of a big city in America. You could argue that was Brandon Johnson. Okay. You could go back and say it was Lori Lightfoot, but Lightfoot got interrupted by COVID.
The guy who was mayor of New York before after Bloomberg. What's his face?
Warren. His real name is Warren Wilhelm. You're talking about.
But he has some whack.
You're talking about Bill de Blasio. His real name, and this is important, is Warren Wilhelm. He changed
Walter
it.
Wilhelm Jr.
Yeah, because that sounds like maybe somebody. No, it sounds like a wealthy Marvel character. Wilhelm. So he changed it to Billy de Blasio from the Bronx. But you even got this girl out here in Seattle, who her thing is more communist. She's the new mayor of Seattle. So this is spreading. Okay.
Yeah, but you heard about the shoot in Portland.
I'm sorry?
You heard about the two Trende Aragua they popped.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you saw with that.
I'm just saying it's spread already.
You saw with that the police chief of Portland. He's crying in defense of these two and saying that they are victims.
Dude, did you see his second statement? Wait. Did you see the second statement after he got caught hiding that they're Trende Aragua on purpose?
No.
He had to give a whole statement where he cried again, talking about how he felt bad, but he didn't want misinformation to go out, even though everyone knew already that they were Trende Aragua.
Yeah, so look, this is what I tell Democrats all the time. You probably remember Democrats when they were, pushing the working class and anti-war and all that. Okay. What this is today, they just hijacked the name of the party, and this is full on Marxism. We see the same thing in South Africa right now, where the ANC and the Economic freedom fighters want to establish a very violent, and they have to a large extent, established a violent rule that persecutes a segment of society. They don't even want white people to leave South Africa. They're just content to persecute them violently. So that is the one thing that we have in this country that many other countries, including South Africa, do not have, is the Second Amendment. And folk need to take it seriously, very, very seriously.
So guys, what I'm still concerned about, again, is there's a lot of women leading the charge in a lot of different ways. And first off, she's on the front lines of whatever this progressive, socialist, Marxist, communist movement is. But I do want to just even kind of consider, I guess what's on the right. I don't know if these two are on the right anymore, but it's like, Isaiah, you said just a moment ago, we have to end it now, right? And we talked about the whole thing with Venezuela, with Maduro being captured, and somebody actually doing something. So that was Trump doing something now, stop the flow of drugs, get oil back, what have you. This radicalization, this anti-ICE movement, but I just want to kind of get to what Megyn Kelly was actually saying when it came to, this was her response to Trump going into Venezuela. And it just kind of plays to your point when you say, we got to end this now. But we have women that say, well, no, that doesn't feel good. Or no, that, we should be kind of easier about that. Or what if this? Come on.
Did anybody anticipate that? I don't think so. Okay. Venezuela is not Libya. It's not full of a bunch of Middle Eastern potential terrorists, but it's not great. Like, they've got a bunch of gangs down there who have zero problem killing Americans. Let's check in with Tren de Aragua. Let's check in with Laken Riley's family to find out whether they have any empathy for Americans. Doesn't seem so. And I don't know what faction of that group we're ticking off right now with our behavior.
So, yeah, I mean, you hear Megyn Kelly there saying that we should. Go ahead, Gimpy.
Dude, that's ridiculous. She starts by listing examples of our already it's a problem. And then who are we upsetting by doing this? Excuse me? Are we not out of order here? That would mean like we started something and they're going to have a response to that. We are responding to the aggression already against America and its citizens. There is a difference. It's like, you can't have it both ways, people. Like, this is the problem. They want it to be, because I promise you, if Megyn Kelly was getting what she wanted, they would drop bombs from 40,000 feet and level whole cities. Dude, these people, it's when they get what they want, everyone who criticizes it now, when it's their turn to have it, they do it twice as hard as what they criticize people for doing. And she is no different, dude. She's just another grifter trying to sell an America First pitch that's separate from Trump.
CT, man, what do you see here, man? Megyn Kelly, where should she be right now? If you could talk to Megyn Kelly directly, what would you say to her?
You're muted.
I have to agree with Gimpy on this one. Everything he said, I agree with it in terms of with Megyn Kelly.
I'll let you keep talking.
Go ahead, brother.
I disagree, man. I agree.
This is.
Come on, bro. Say what you want to say, man. I know you got something. I know you agree with
mop or a broom and have width of hand of certain people wrap comfortably around.
I think that at this point, we're all confident that if CT has something to say, he'll say.
Yeah, I agree with him.
He try to play it cool, like this can't be on a tee for me. Like, really?
Guys, make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe. I do want to real quick share a couple of things that we have coming up from MCM. Hold on, just a second. Here we go. For that. All right. So I want to share this just to let you guys know what we have coming from MCM. So first off, we have a Discord channel coming. So it's all our community channels. We'll have a channel for Poppin' Politics, Christian Conservative, and just the guys here. And then again, that's going to be on Discord. And also, we are launching our website in February. Again, Metro Conservative Media is the home of the Urban Conservative. We're going to have, our podcast, some written articles, our community hub for all the voices that we hear from on a day-to-day, weekly basis. And also, we're going to start supporting some of our local businesses within the Baltimore area and across the country. So I'm really excited about that, guys. And we have a couple of local places that are willing to host our podcast. So we look forward to being actually out in the community, pretty soon. So definitely excited about what's to come here. But guys, I want to talk a little bit more about so the New York Post was actually digging a little bit further into Renee Good. And guys, this is why it's so important really for men to be back in home and in their rightful place. But New York Post put in posted this article. The truth comes out about Minneapolis mom Renee Nicole Good. And apparently she was sending her child to a school, a charter school called the Southside Family Charter School. And they offer a curriculum rooted in social justice. So I was trying to trace this back because in this Red State article here, they put a link to the page of that they had posted on this particular curriculum. So I went to the page, and of course they've taken it down. So they take it down. So then I went to archive and saw that the page actually did exist. And so for over 50 years, Southside Family Charter School has provided social justice focused education in South Minneapolis. So you see there, they have had a history of, that communist influence of taking over the kids, right? So fathers are there to guard, guide, and govern, but you remove the men from the home, and then you inject this anti-family, anti-order mentality with the kids. But not only that, you train the parents to be activists that are vulnerable. So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that, man, because you see here that there's clearly a push to really destroy America within. So I just want to get your thoughts here. CT, now let's respond here, man. I know you hate communism, man. I know. Yes. You are you hate communism, but how do you respond to this, man?
To that school?
Yeah.
It's just a communist farm. It's a farm for the next generation of kids, man. She's obviously where she was aware that the school probably had more, like it said in its description, more of a curriculum of teaching, probably underwater basket weaving African women's studies. But I don't know, man. These people a lot of these liberals are hell bent on, I don't know, man, destroying the country for some reason, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Do you think people are? Well, let me ask. Why do you think it is taking so long to maybe wake up to this?
What do you mean?
Or have people kind of noticed this before, or is this?
No, I think
something that's relatively new.
I think a lot of people have a factory reset to live under some sort of communism or some sort of system of some sort of shared system or some sort of system of the lack of I really believe like a lot of human beings are already some of us are just born like that. Some of us aren't, right?
No, you're absolutely right, because we're in the 250th year of the United States of America. You talk about American exceptionalism. It's not what people think. American exceptionalism is the notion that this type of system existing, the government existing for, by, and of the people, that is what's exceptional. Okay. in history, throughout human history, you haven't seen that, right? The people exist for the purposes of the government. Okay, so throughout the bulk of human history, societal history, most humans have been under some sort of totalitarian rule. And as CT said, maybe that is, I've often thought that liberty was something that most humans cannot appreciate, because with liberty comes a hell of a lot of responsibility.
That's right. Did I ever tell you my my ice cream story?
No.
In camp?
No.
Oh, I knew.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Go ahead and share it again.
That's worth telling again. That's worth telling again.
I don't know if Isaiah knows this story. So Isaiah, I went to a camp called Camp Hiram when I was a little child. And of course, they give you 3 meals a day. You have to pay to go there. But some kids, I don't think some kids had to pay. I think it was some sort of like stipend or something, but it was kind of like an exclusive. I don't know at the time. It seemed like it was, but like an exclusive camp. But and then they provided you like with a snack. But if your parents gave you money, you could use your money at like this little store that was on the campground, right? So one day I went into the store, and the lady who worked in the store said, there's like a balance that you get, and my balance was low, and I'm like, I didn't use this fucking money. And the lady said, "Oh, your counselors took your money and gave your money to kids who needed it." I said, "Motherfucker," and I'm like, and obviously I'm going to fight the camp. I was like 11, so, and that's when I really started to hate the idea of communism, socialism. The idea is like, I can't help it that they sorry ass parents didn't work hard enough. It ain't got nothing to do with me. I can't help that. But so that's my ice cream story. That's one of the reasons why I don't like.
I think I got maybe a natural, or not natural, but I don't know, some type of experience with socialism. So I went to an HBCU my first semester in college.
Yeah.
And they were introducing this program called the C program. It was CEE. I don't know what the other E stands for, but it was CEE. And pretty much all you had to do was show up to class and you got a C. And I'm like, yo, I know these kids like ain't working, and I'm taking classes like calculus. I'm taking, advanced literature classes, and this is my freshman year because I got some high school credits to go, in college. So I'm like, I work hard for my A.
Yeah.
And and I know at this time that when you graduate, nobody, like, the employer is not really caring about your transcripts or things like that. Like, but to me, it's the principle of it. It was like, yeah, I worked hard for the grade I got, and you're just giving these other kids, free pass. So shout out to Deborah. What was that? Deborah Leonel. People yearn to be taken care of over freedom, unfortunately. Now, I'm curious about that, though. Because is that a male thing or a woman thing, right?
No,
because
men and women. No.
I'm just asking.
People
Go ahead.
in general don't want responsibility, because with responsibility comes the problem of having to do something. When you're being told all the time, stand here for food, stand here. Dude, that's why so many people get institutionalized in jail, man. Because you have everything. I mean, there's all sorts of horrible shit, but I'm saying, like, you have a place to stay, you have food given to you, you have entertainment provided to you on some, again, you don't have to think about your life anymore. You don't have to invest anything. You just get to turn a switch in your head and become a lemming.
Well, is it that the majority think like that, or is it that certain people?
No, it's an archetype. 80% of people would rather not have the responsibility of managing their own life, dude. Easy, 80% of the people. Ask people, look at people. How many?
Let us know in the chat. Would you rather
40 years, man, and not need to change? Because if they make their bills, they pay the thing, they find their tiny little happiness, and they have no ambition. Ambition is a tiny little trait that's held amongst the very few. And good ambition is even less available out there in the world. You're talking about things that are not gender related. It's the human condition, man.
Yeah.
People don't want to be responsible. It's hard. It is hard every day waking up and having to own your life. It is hard every day having to tell the truth. And so, go ahead, man.
No, and then you're absolutely right. But then when you combine that, there's another ingredient here, and that is materialism and consumerism that tricks you into believing you are fulfilled. That component also plays a part. So you get a society that. Go ahead.
Theater of the masses stuff.
Absolutely.
They give us this whole dude. Do you remember the movie Sleepless in Seattle or You've Got Mail? I forget which one it is, but Tom Hanks is talking about how they empower us with coffee choices, right? Because you go for CT's favorite Do Funny spot, you got to make 97 choices to get one cup of coffee. I need I need a grande with whip, soy, local, soy.
The illusion of choice.
Right, and you have all these dopamine hits from making all these choices, and then you get an object, and you're like, "Oh my god, I just had the culmination of 97 choices in one thing." It's a massive dopamine hit, dude. Again, people are generally happy with small lives as long as those small lives are comfortable.
Yep.
I mean, dude. So I was talking to Yana the other night, and we were talking about like what would happen in apocalypse, and she was like, "What do you mean? It's like what the Soviet Union was in the 90s. You're just living to survive." So we didn't have hot water for a week. Do you know the joy everybody felt when the water got turned on?
Right.
She's taught, and you see this like vigor, right? And I'm like, you do understand that you're having a vigor for something we can walk upstairs and turn on at any time right now, and somehow that's supposed to be better than this. Right? Like that's how people are wired. If you give them enough like goal-oriented relief in their life where they feel they hit thresholds and I got this luxury because I waited in line, or I got this. Happy. People, their brain will flip and say, this is good. You are safe. You have what's provided for you. You don't need more.
So have we become too comfortable in America then? Or where we are?
Absolutely.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, to go back on that original point, the one thing about, if you notice, when it comes to communism, the people who adopt communism the fastest and are the most fervent of adherents to it are privileged kids.
That's true. That's a good point.
They're not the ones who earned the wealth. They are the kids who suck off of it. They're the kids who benefit from it. Okay? I'll give you a perfect example of this. Here in New York, that Sia Weaver lady, you might have heard of her. She works she's working in Zoran Mamdani's administration. This is a woman who has openly said that she, as a pale, that bitch about as white as this piece of paper right here. Okay? Skin the same complexion, everything. And that girl says that she wanted to, quote, change people's relationship with private property, especially white people. Oh, and some people of color, she added at the end of it. Now, couple things. Okay. This lady, the Sia Weaver lady, lives in a rent stabilized apartment in Crown Heights. This girl is one of many gentrifiers who have taken over and made New York City even more expensive than it already is. But that's not even the end of it. Sia Weaver's parents are real estate magnates in Tennessee, I believe, where her mom lives in a house that's nearly $2 million.
Yep.
I feel that she has not suffered enough under the white supremacy in real estate ownership. I feel like she definitely has not reached any threshold.
Zoran, even Zoran himself. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is like, his mom is a filmmaker, is a film director.
Yeah, but at least he failed at something like a good communist. Dude, he's a failed rapper.
Hold on, and what was the last part about about his father?
His father is a professor at Columbia University.
A communist professor.
Fucking commie.
Communism.
And again, but the thing is, they still have a measure of wealth. They still own property. How about that? They still own property in Uganda.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, they're one of the richest land. Isn't his family one of the richest landowning for, like, aren't they up there in the
Uganda?
In
Uganda. Yeah. In fact, Zohar Mamdani is on record as saying that he does not believe in private property, yet he personally owns private property in Uganda. And mind you, Uganda is one of the leading nations for childhood homelessness. So you want to talk about, absolutely. So why don't you practice what you preach, and why don't you collectivize the land that you own personally to house some of these homeless children? Not to mention, his parents own a compound in Uganda. Before he took office, they had some sort of wedding celebration for him and his wife over there. And the townspeople were like, man, they had private security. They had music blasting. We couldn't get any sleep. Okay. So this is who as I always say, the Politburo always lives high on the hog. Okay.
The Politburo ends up becoming the bourgeoisie.
Absolutely.
That's the goal.
Stalin partied every fucking night, okay, until the day he died. Okay, I mean, big time caviar, the finest alcohol, until he still might be, but as of 2023, Kim Jong-un was the largest private buyer of Johnny Walker Blue. Okay, wow. So these guys live high on the hog. Yeah.
Well, dude, hey, have y'all seen Am I Racist?
Sorry, go ahead, man.
Have you seen Am I Racist? That movie by Matt Walsh?
Yeah.
You remember that scene in there? See, these are the movies I've seen, guys.
Yeah, because you're a nerd. You are a nerd, sir.
Yes. All right. So whatever, man. So you remember that scene where it's he's interviewing Robin DiAngelo? God. And Robert DiAngelo's like, well, Matt Walsh is like, why don't you give some reparations now? And he was like, yeah, just give some money to my to my camera guy. God. And she was like, well, that's not the thing. And she was kind of confused at that point, right? Because it kind of goes to the point of Mamdani, like, and Sia Weaver, like, yeah, why don't you give up your house? Well, that's kind of like, this is my house, that's not the system. And Robin DiAngelo's like, well, we need to institute some type of reparation versus, well, why don't you just give what you have right now to the black man in front of you? It's just weird, man.
Because I'm going to tell you why that is. Because when we've obviously talked about that communism is a religion of the state, right? That communism is really what I've said is communism is a religion of the self made manifest by the state. The reason why they do this, in my opinion, is because if they can use the mechanisms of government or their friends within the oligarchies to do the dirty work that they want done, think of it. Think of how great it. Think of how great it is, right? To be able to do big things and follow all of your little priorities, but not spend a dime of your own money.
Yeah, it's always other people's money.
I mean, listen, that's what the whole thing is with Minnesota. You think them fucking white people up there, you think them white liberals are worried about like how much fraud? We're talking about $18 billion worth of fraud that was uncovered just there in Minnesota.
So far.
There's a scam, there's a scandal opening up right now here in the state of New York where there's about $1.8 billion of fraud to begin with, right? Here in the state of New York. The issue right now, but the reason why white liberals don't care, these white leftists don't care, is because some brown people are getting money. They're atoning for white supremacy. They're atoning for the sin of living in a privileged, rich country. So they have to make some niggers happy. Yep. That's what this is about. We have to, we have to do something for the niggers to keep them on the plantation, right? We have to make the field, field equipment happy so that they'll keep voting for us. Yep. That's the direct benefit that they see. It's purely transactional. It's disturbing.
And that's why you have did you see California, which was never a slave state? San Francisco just authorized $5 million payments to black people at the same time saying, oh, we can't afford it. But
we can't afford it, right?
Right, but here's what we're doing. But mind you, we can't afford it, right? It's the same philosophy that Isaiah just mentioned.
All right, tough shit, Gimpy. We all moving to San Francisco.
Have fun. Enjoy. Later. Don't let you
get a couple dollars. Hey guys, real quick, man. I want to show you guys something. Did you know? Go ahead, Gimpy, real quick.
All I could say to this is that this goes back to that we've developed a culture in this country where you literally they feel there are no consequences if they feel they're ideologically correct. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on, either in the ideology that you are. But if you think that somehow your might is right, then you have no problem walking up to an armed officer and just doing something stupid, right? That you have no problem putting yourself in harm's way and saying, "Why was I harmed?"
Yeah,
I mean, these guys get beaten. You saw that one cop who did the shooting. He had already been previously hurt. He got messed up from that. Those pictures that you saw in the video.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. We have to accept that we're getting to the point where, like, there has to be a real accounting. The last 5 years alone have been without consequence. People need to start going to jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but there were this particular neighborhood was actually shark infested. That the shooting happened in. So I will see if I'm gonna try to stop it at the right time. But looking behind this car, I mean this Honda, you can see a shark. Can you see it? It's behind the Alpha News.
What the hell?
A shark.
A shark. Yeah,
hold on, and then hold on. I'm gonna get a steal of it. But also down the street there is a dinosaur, and I wanted to play the video here first just to show. You see behind her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I do see that. I do see that.
Fuck.
I do see that.
So this neighborhood that they were in is kind of wild. So let me share this.
Bored white people, Jesus Christ!
Bro,
They
so
were
I didn't know if,
go ahead.
So I just didn't know if you guys noticed this. Hold on, let me remove this.
Man, I can't.
So again, behind her, there's the shark. I mean the dinosaur, and this is another angle from a different camera.
Oh,
this neighborhood is crazy. But yeah, here's
holy.
What the fuck?
Oh wow.
What am I looking at? Oh my Lord.
Oh wow. Yo, Sharknado blew through this, eh?
So they have, I guess, a prehistoric or animal theme going on in this particular neighborhood. Like the backdrop for this stuff could not be more great. Like,
dude, this is why I say all I see are just potential drone strike opportunities.
Well, let me say this. Let me bring something up. It's going to get very difficult to discern what is reality from AI. Okay.
Well, that's why I played the video first. That's why
I got you. I'm not suggesting this is, but I think we're all starting to experience AI that is really, give it 18 months and you will not know the difference. And the danger there is getting us to react to certain things in certain ways that may not have authentically occurred.
I mean, I get it. That's true.
But that's happening already. It'll happen at a much larger scale with what you're saying. But the deep fake is the deep fake, right? Like they've been faking video and stuff and they go to pay, you know, sometimes it was big budget stuff, but now it's low budget. They can do it with AI, but it happens all
because Gimpy, if you're able to drive this sort of reaction to get the left out in the street, right? You know that if certain things happen, you can mobilize the left, right?
Always.
So if you're able to create these things, the appearance of these things, then you don't have to sit back and wait for an incident.
George Orwell wins.
You can drive it. Yeah.
It counts as the profit at this point. We live in 1984. We do, dude. Like, we sign it away voluntarily, like, because I work for a software manufacturer, right? So we sign away our privacy every time you use each individual piece of software. It's not like you can agree to, like, you do it once. You agree on every single thing you use on every single device. You basically tell every company, take all my data. I mean, we're the like, you understand that the biggest trick that they play is they get us to pay to be the actual product.
Sure. No doubt. We're acting as the product here.
Yeah, we're the product here. But I'm just in general, like, you think you're buying something like a piece of software or a video game or a new device. What you're really doing is giving access to your whole life to a corporation for them to sell that data to anyone who wants to buy it anywhere in the world.
It's market research, right?
Dude, it's the most valuable thing on earth. You make when these software companies sell, 80% of the time they don't give a damn about the software that they're buying. They're buying the list that comes with it. Customers, resellers, marketing, the irreplaceable market data that you buy that a company has for being in business for 20 years. They don't, dude. There are software.
You know, ChatGPT did a yearly recap thing. I don't know if anybody use ChatGPT, but they did your year in ChatGPT for 2025.
For what you did on your ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Did you have to be subscription?
Had to record it
for everyone.
Yeah,
I did. And then Google Music does Google Music does one for your YouTube. So that's the crazy part.
Spotify does it for your playlist on Spotify, man.
Hold on, because there was this, YouTube did the one for like your year on YouTube, and it really gives you, like, it's crazy how accurate it is. It gives you like your, like the videos you watched, and it says you're this type of person. It really kind of
like a Myers-Briggs type of behavioral assessment.
Yeah.
Does anyone know, maybe somebody in the chat knows, I haven't been to a library in a long time. Do any of the libraries still use the Dewey Decimal System or the card catalog? The card
catalog, but
it's still in use.
Yeah, they still use
it. Okay. The reason I'm asking is because the card catalog is anonymous. You know, look up something and nobody knows, right? But when you start typing things into Google or some library computer, then, you know, why is he looking up that book type thing?
Well, and they do the decimal system as well. Yeah.
What's that now?
They still do the decimal system.
Okay.
So guys, why do you think men have, I guess, kind of stepped aside and allowed this kind of communist influence to take place, where it's really destroying families, taking over families, and putting women in more of the lead? Now, is this, do you think this was a conscious choice by men, a subverted choice by men, or too comfortable? Like, what do you think? I just want to kind of open up the floor. Like, why do you think? Because in a lot, Gimpy says like a lot of,
It's the coochie logic. It's the coochie. When I was a young man in college, I would go to women's rights groups. A lot for the free food because we run out of money on the food cards, but a lot of it was to be in proximity of hoes, man. And women do have a lot of rights in the country because this country has given rights to everybody, and there are more women to a degree, right? There are more women population wise, so they have they control access to coochie, and you want to get some ass. You're a dude, young guy. You don't want to offend some chick by giving your opinion about politics if you even care about it. So, some stupid chick who has a socialism sticker on the back of her computer in her dorm, or if she's older, are you gonna sit up there and talk about, well, how can you be a socialism with a $2,000 computer? No, because you're just thinking about getting some coach. So that's what it really boils down to, man. And even in older age, man, you're out with a chick, man. You ain't gonna talk about no goddamn politics, ruining no goddamn chance to get some ass that night. Nah, you want to get some coochie, man. You want to get a hand job on a ride home. So
dude, CT went in there with the shirt saying equal rights for women. He had the hat on and everything. He walked right up to her and he said, "Can you step on me? And then can I get your number?"
Yeah. Yeah. That's all what it is, Logic, to be honest with you, bro. If men were really disciplined, we could control the paradigm, but it's that box, man.
Dude, there are too many Linwoods.
Yeah.
I will say, if you really, well, why the question is, why do men, have men just kind of abdicated from leading? And I would say largely the answer is yes. I'm going to say this because a lot of it is the box. Okay, a lot of it is, to get some ass. Because I tell you, here in New York, before I started dating my wife, and even the DEI ex that I had, right? Well, I didn't even know what she was into. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of guys, when you trying to get in, I have to agree with CT. There's going to be there's going to be like a certain level of bullshit of leftist bullshit that you're gonna put up with. There's a meme of Thomas Sowell where he's warning men against the dangers of socialist titties, right? But I will say this: when men, black men in particular, are raised by women, okay, when they have no frame of reference or any frame of reference as to what a man would be or should be, or even worse, they're being raised by women who have their own fucked up ideas of what a man actually is. Of course they're going to step back. Of course they're not going to be. Of course they're going to be as self-deprecating and as shrinking as possible, because the black woman is God, right? In a lot of respects, black woman. We was queens, we was kings, all that shit. What bothers me the most is when a black man who can think for themselves and who wants to lead, that's the bigger problem. When a black man wants to lead, when a black man stands as an individual and wants to lead and wants to be, to actually show that he has something, right? Like he doesn't think like everyone else. Like he wants to lead. He sees things that are going on. That is a threat to the rest of the collective. Mm-hmm. It is a threat. And I'm telling you, a lot of black folk, especially if they've been voting Democrat most of their lives, that is very, very threatening.
See, I see it different.
Very threatening to a black man. I'm saying to someone who is collectivist minded, whether they realize it or not. Okay, I'll take a D.L. Hughley for example. D.L. Hughley, one of the most bitch ass niggas you'll ever meet in your life. But people think he's he's a superstar in the Democratic. The dude talks like a woman. He operates like a woman. All of his mannerisms are feminism. He sounds like a bitch. But the reason, but again, people like that people like that in a guy like DL because he advances the agenda.
So I want to let me play this real quick, and then I'm gonna go to you, Gimpy, because I just preparing for the show. I put all these things, these videos together, and man, if you didn't set this one up, I say it. So this is a gentleman by the name Kevin Powell. He's some writer or whatever, but I saw him on the Karen Hunter show, responding to the situation in Venezuela. Of course, he's talking, communism on the Karen. He's talking like a communist socialist, saying that in the same talking points that all of them use. But so I looked him up to see who he was, and he was saying this about the way he grew up. So first
he a
off,
bitch just by that scarf. He a bitch just by that scarf. Look at that shit.
All right.
So even though I was raised in
And
a
what is with his
household,
pocket square, man? That's
pocket-
disturbing.
Oh,
Like,
that's
that's
the Roland
disturbing.
Martin. That's the Roland Martin shit. And he didn't even
That is awful.
fold it into his pants.
Bro, let him finish what he's going.
No, I can't listen to him. He has a pocket square like a clown. What is he going to pull it out and it goes forever? He just keeps like a magician.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna give me some, but never mind. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Is it rainbow colors?
aunts were around, my grandmother was in the South.
As he pulls on it.
Replay it, please.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Here we go. So he's talking about how he grew up and how he was raised and he's talking about how his he mentioned the image of his father really came from his mom because earlier in this video he says he called his father one time on a payphone, and on the other end his father said, "You lied to me," talking to his mom, like, "That is not my child." So he kind of skips past then, and that was kind of ingrained in him. So
even though I was raised in a household, single mother, my aunts were around, my grandmother was in the South, there was a matriarchal family, the reality is, when we're talking about the things that we were studying, be it math, science, history, etc., everything was through the lens of men, as if women didn't exist. I knew from the time I was 11, 12 years old that I wanted to be a writer because I discovered this very hyper-masculine male writer named Ernest Hemingway. And I loved Hemingway. But in my 13 years of school, the only woman writer that I remember was Emily Dickinson. But it's not just there. It's also pop culture, the mass media culture. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but it should have broken our hearts when Frances McDormand won her Oscar back in February. Remember that, y'all, this year? And she asked all the women to stand up in that audience. And you saw all these women. I've worked in the entertainment industry for many, many years. Women are the real leaders in our communities.
So I wanted to end it there.
Me know he worked in the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
He can make CT's coffee. He's qualified.
Especially with that scarf, honey.
Oh, dude, that scarf,
pretty funny.
Dude, how can you listen to that? How can you take a man who moves around like a clown seriously?
In a room full of white people.
Like, dude, that guy is a clown.
Who the fuck you think? Hold on a second. Who the fuck you think he is? The Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Listen,
what the fuck?
Two things. No, something stood out.
Hold on.
One thing that stood out when he said, what was it? He didn't know any female writers other than he mentioned one.
Emily Dickinson, yeah.
Okay, so Helen Keller, Laura Ingalls Wilder. He was deprived, basically. I mean, all it takes is a trip to the library, and you can find, plenty of other.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. This is, I think, where we're going with this. 2007, the Clinical Journal of Endocrinology and something, I forget the other. It's a scientific journal on biology. They came out with a study about testosterone rates that have dropped precipitously from 87 to 99, and then again from 2002 to 2004. It had nothing to do with age. Okay, this was in America across all demographics. Okay, so that leads me to believe that there's something atmospheric, environmental, okay, that has happened to reduce these testosterone rates, and we're seeing it because we don't have a World War II, a bunch of guys that are willing to go out and do the things like storming the beaches of Normandy. By and large, I mean, do you really think we could get that same amount of guys together today to do something like that?
I mean, after last weekend, now maybe.
Look, scientifically speaking, though, it is true that testosterone levels
are down.
Scientific fact.
Yeah, have been down anyhow, but that happens all the time. I agree with you. I'm not, but again, I wanted to answer the other thing with the men and women that we were talking about before you showed that strange fellow flailing around on stage. Men are responsible, right? You talk about it's because men wanted easy out. They wanted to be able to walk away from marriages, relationships. So they created laws called no-fault divorce. And from there, we created an epidemic of single mothers. And from there, you get all the other stuff that you're talking about.
So shout out to Reason.
I'm laughing at you, Gimp. I'm sorry.
Really, Isaiah?
Yeah, that's all that.
That was crazy. That was you and your spark. But I'm just saying, I have to arguably say it's really men's fault. We had our hands on total power. We decided that we would start sharing it. So we started sharing it. And then we got to the point where we decided that if we're going to share it, now we want to take advantage of it. And we created a disaster from it. So
yeah, but I guess my question, because I agree that men are making decisions, right? But when you look at
passed all the laws, it was all passed by men.
I understand, but
there are no women leading the charge that led us here. They're soldiers now. They're the modern leaders. Sure, this all comes from men choosing this. Back when men were men and masculinity was still masculinity, suffragette is way before.
Well, understand that there's an economic component to this. Okay.
Yeah.
1913, we got the income tax, right?
Yep.
And then if you look post 1913, you got a lot of women's lib movements popping up. Why? Not so much because the powers that be thought that women should be able to do the jobs of that men were traditionally doing, but to get both adults out of that house into a W-2 situation where they were paying into this post 1913 income tax structure.
Dude, men did that. Men. That reinforces my point, sir. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you.
I'm not disputing it, but I'm going back to the root of why we saw that. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Deborah with the $2 super chat. You said Isaiah.
Dude, if men could have kept their shit together, we wouldn't have communism. We would have listened to McCarthy in the 50s. We would have stopped it back then. We wouldn't have the plague it is now. Dude, at every critical linchpin moment, it's not a woman standing there. It is a man, and the person opposing him is another man. It's not women. We're just not willing to look at the truth of the matter. Men have continuously walked away from their responsibility in this country to protect liberty and freedom for the next generation because we got greedy and stupid and we wanted easy outs. That's really what it was. We wanted more tax money. We wanted easier ways to get out of relationships. We wanted ways to have sexual liberation so we could score all the girls at the meetings for sexual liberation. Dude, men created every system and every environment that now plagues us. You can say it's run by them now, sure, because that's what we did. We built it to hand to them like that. And now that they're running rampant all over us, we're all crying about it. Go complain to our grandfathers who let this happen.
So what do we do then? Like as men, like what should we be doing now to combat this, to overturn it?
It's too far gone. There's nothing that can be done. Yeah. We're at the end stage of the empire in many, many ways. Okay. So we can wake up tomorrow and there will be no more United States. No, it's going to transition. It's going to go further down this socialist road. Okay. You're going to see not so much a secession, but you're going to see more conservative minded people moving to what are red states. Okay. And holding up there. And then you're going to see these blue states come under tremendous economic pressure because a lot of the productive people are leaving. We talked about this when the show began.
Already happening in California.
33% already. Check this out, Isaiah. U-Haul does this annual survey. to say, looking at migration, and California's #1 by a country mile in terms of folk leaving that state. Okay. They're not getting two-way U-Hauls. They did one-way. Okay. Out. Maryland survey was done saying that 33% of the population of the state of Maryland, 2 million people, are considering leaving the state because of the economic situation, right? So you have more and more, and remember, people who can leave, they're making money, right? So what you leave behind is the people who are not as affluent. And so your state goes into deeper and deeper into the red, economically speaking. So 2035, you're going to really, really see it. The blue states are going to be hellholes unless they change their ways pretty fast, which they show no indication of doing.
Yeah. So what can we do to overturn this, CT? Like, what can we do to reverse this trend?
As I said before, it's not going to be reversed. I mean, let's be honest, man. Liberalism attracts a different type of mindset and a different type of, obviously, belief and living standard, man. Bro, I gotta say this, man. A lot of these women, man, they're and dudes, they've grown up in the computer age. They've grown up in social media age. Man, don't nobody want to live like no goddamn conservative, man, to be honest with you, man. The masses of people seeing all this stuff, man. People want to live in the nice, fancy cities, man, with skyscrapers, bro. The masses of people, man. They, it's too much. It's too much sensory overload, man. If some of these kids, they'd be bored to death living in some little backwater town somewhere in Middle America, man. I mean, I think it's over. And women are just too educated now, and I mean educated as in formal education. You got too many women going to school, man. These women ain't about to go back into no goddamn kitchen, man. When you got DoorDash and you got all this stuff around us, it ain't happening. It ain't happening, bro.
You know what, CT? It's so funny you mentioned that, because yesterday I watched this video. It was a 2-part video of this woman, this white family in Minnesota, who had ordered DoorDash. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
ICE had pulled up to the household because I guess they were looking for the delivery driver, but a DoorDash. The delivery.
Shout out to Deborah with the $5 super chat. Adam Carolla talks about how when the feminine takes over, like now, socialism, communism are inevitable. Go ahead, Isaiah.
So, Kaylee, I don't even know what this woman's name was, but this woman had ordered DoorDash, right? And she's literally thinking that she's arguing with federal agents and arguing with I need a warrant, and you better bring me with a fucking warrant. If you don't give me my warrant, because by this time the illegal alien had started hiding out in the basement, and she's like crying and like blubbering, speaking Spanish, can't understand. But she had just ordered DoorDash. And that's the life. That's what I'm referring to, right?
Yep.
These white people, these white liberals, and there are a lot of black folk in this chat. Okay. There's a lot of black folk in this chat who I don't know what the deal is. But the bottom line is this: these white liberals, they think of y'all as they think of us as the help. We're there to help their lives easier. And what's so crazy is with these illegal immigrants and stuff, right? The people who they love, they have what's called, somebody said this yesterday, they have Marvel brain, right? They think they're gonna, that's how they think they can yell at cops and, they lecture them on their politics and shit like that. It is disturbing to me the ends these people will go all so that they can have their DoorDash orders, so that Kaylee can have her pad thai without having to leave her house because she's 450 pounds and has a body positivity TikTok with 7,000 followers. That's the type of brain that we're dealing with. That's the type of empty fucking soul that we're dealing with.
Hold on. Go ahead, CT.
Isaiah, the other day I did a live stream about Ice Show Speed. Are you familiar with Ice Show Speed?
I am, very much so.
His Africa tour. And this is how I know a lot of conservatives. This is how I know it's a wrap for conservatives, man. There were people in the chat, my own chat, conservatives in the chat.
Say that again.
There were some people in my own chat that they were looking at ISO Speed. Now he's in a remote village, a rural village in South Africa, right? Oh, a lot of South Africa is urbanized. Now he's in a remote village. The women there, they're traditional women. A lot of these girls are virgins. Some girls are like 20, and you could tell that these girls ain't never had sex with a man. You know, like you could just tell by the way that they're looking at him. You know, the father's like, yeah, you know, I show speed. If you want my daughter, it's 20 cows and shit. You know, this is how. Now this is a traditional village. There were conservatives in my own chat saying, "Oh, they're on mud hut floors and mud floors, and who want to live like that? And that's backwards." Isn't this how? But wait a minute now. But isn't this the ideal conservative environment? These people aren't eating processed foods. They're living off the land. They're practicing a communal environment. They're practicing and they're in an environment where nobody's treading on them, right? Because you know, in America, conservatives don't nobody tread on me, right? All this bullshit. And they're talking about, and I said, now this is exactly why I really believe the American conservative. It's 5-10 more years maybe, and it's going to be some sort of antiquated niche type group of people. To be honest.
How are you defining conservative?
I just told you the girls in that village. These girls are dressed very from head to toe. Very meek, very mild mannered. They almost were like bowing their heads at I Show Speed. These women obviously were under the tutelage or guidance of their father to get a man. These women weren't shaking their booties on Instagram with the phone up and, you know, worrying about the next Birkin bag. No, they weren't. So these women, in my opinion, were very conservative. They wanted to conserve their culture, right? They wanted to conserve their culture. So I think it's over, bro. I think it's over with conservative.
So should we do that thing that the communists do and just like go full speed ahead with this stuff? Because it's got to hit a brick wall at some point, right?
I think when it comes to us. When it comes to the, you know, guys like us who are married, you know, trying either we have kids or trying to, I think that the one thing I would disagree with CT on is this: we do have demographic, we do have population on our side to a certain respect, because you think about it this way, they're killing their kids. If they're not aborting them, if they're not, you know, transitioning them and kidnapping them and sending them to other states, you know, I believe that as long as we have children, raise them correctly, and at least have something, as long as we do what we need to do for our families, okay, I think we'll be fine. The biggest issue that I see in our country right now is that no one knows what the Constitution is. No one has an idea. Like we sitting here talking about concepts. We're sitting here talking about like like communism and socialism and all that. Like, we understand this stuff, but how many of them savages right now in, say, Minneapolis, who are out there in the streets, how many of them people know or care anything about the Constitution of the United States?
They cannot read and write. Half those white women who are graduates with master's degrees that are protesting in the street, they will tell you that without spell check, they can't write something.
Yep.
Okay. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how the answer is that men have to take it back. The same way we gave it away, we have to take it back. We have to put our foot down and lead properly like adults. But there are just too many men out there who are, like you gave the example of the 600-pound body positivity TikToker getting her DoorDash, Isaiah, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem isn't her. She doesn't exist without the 7,000 fans. How many of those are white guys in their basements or dudes in their basements who can't go out and socialize with women? So they empower this woman on the internet. We have 1.4 million women of age in America, in the United States of America, who are on OnlyFans. CT's favorite thing. How are you going to convince kids to be more conservative when they look in their phone and they see the life that you can live as a secularized person anywhere in the world at any time? I mean, if you want to change this, if you want to abate this, you're going to have to make some seriously hard choices. And that's going to take some real leadership, not people looking for votes, not people playing to their base, not ideologues. It's going to take practical people who want to fix, like, have workable, effective solutions. Because it's honestly, no one's going to be happy when you fix this. Conservatives won't be happy, liberals, communists, because it's not going to be what any of them want, because it's going to be something else, because what everybody seems to want keeps destroying the country. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the answer is less of us and more leadership, right? We're talking.
No, what really
now we're just talking is what I mean by that, is right, and needs more action.
What really has to happen, and we've seen this throughout history, this type of thing is not reversed unless there's some kind of reset. Okay, so you had just you go back 1776, you had the American Revolution, you had the French Revolution, you had World War I, the Great Depression, World War II. When we saw, and the problem is with World War II, there hasn't been anything as impactful as that in the Great Depression since. Okay, I mean, if you look back, and a lot of people tried to compare the recession of 2008 to the Great Depression. It's not, I mean, if you look at the Dust Bowl, if you look at the migration out, because the Dust Bowl kind of occurred simultaneous with the Great Depression, so it was just one thing after another. So when you have these resets, these really big resets, okay, and remember the Great Depression was global, as was World War II, and as far as the American Revolution, that was the colonists going up against the superpower of the day, the British. So when you have these resets occur, that calls for masculinity. You know, you can make the argument. Some people try to make this argument that, oh, FDR's programs brought us out of the Great Depression. No, what actually brought us out was World War II. And the buildup, the fact that a lot of men left this country to fight a war. But the problem was we got real comfortable after that. A lot of which these hippies, remember the hippies are the product of the baby boomers.
Yep.
Okay. So they came back, got comfortable, and cursed the world with the hippie generation. They kept raising these leftist kids.
Yeah, and those hippies ruined it because now they're the generation that refuses to relinquish power.
That's true.
Exactly.
Again, this is what I'm saying. All this could have been avoided had we listened to key men along the way, like McCarthy in the 50s. Just throwing that out there. McCarthy was right.
He did not go far enough.
Before that, Teddy Roosevelt. Before that, I look, dude.
I mean, but that's the one thing that
this a men or a woman thing. It is clearly a men thing.
Yeah.
Because plenty of men have been sounding the alarm that we should have all listened to. Were in positions we should have listened to, and society ran them out of town for their opinion.
Hey, look. MacArthur, okay, he wanted to go to war with the Soviets. All right. He wanted to crush communism, as did Patton, right after World War II. Their argument was, we still pretty much got this military in place. Russia's on its heels. Let's take it to him. Truman pretty much destroyed Eisenhower, and Patton, this great war hero, got into a car accident, okay, and died shortly thereafter, right? Under speculative circumstances, right? Yep. So, yeah.
So shout out to Kung Fu CJ with the $10 super chat. He says the Constitution is the only document that says the citizen is the king and queen of the country. No other document gives its citizens this kind of power.
Shout out to Kung Fu CJ. Don't forget to wear your helmet.
Yo, so hold on, share this tab. I agree with everybody. Like, men have to stand up. And it's I think, I don't know, because I think I personally went through this kind of phase where I believe that, you know, I need to listen to women and I need to do like follow. And that was a really simpy part of my life. But I mean, but I started waking up to these things.
Sir.
Huh?
The first step is admitting it. So you're already well on your way.
Yeah. I mean, I made a complete change. I mean, you know, I became conservative in the sense of particularly money issues and family. I believe in family order because that's just how I was raised, you know. But the whole idea of masculinity, right? It's this power that you do have, but oftentimes a lot of men are afraid to wield it. And I've been reading this other book by Meg Meeker. It's called Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters. And there was a quote in here that, you know, just kind of stuck out to me. It says the true masculinity is the moral exercise of authority. And I do think a reason why we've, you know, kind of gone away from order and we see a lot of chaos in our communities is because a lot of men have lost that perspective of what masculinity actually is. Like when we think about masculine, of course, it's called toxic, or it's called all these other words, but it has the power to hurt. It has the power to destroy. But real masculinity is being able to exercise that masculinity at the right time, right? It's being able to do it, you know, with correct judgment, sound judgment, those type of things. What do you guys think about that, man? What do you, the true masculinity is the moral exercise of authority. What are your thoughts on that?
I would just like to say you gave us a quote from a book written by a woman.
Well, she I think we need women in the sense of one saying that, guys, like, this is on you too. You know what I mean? Like it's I think she's actually recognizing, because part of the problem, especially what you'll hear from men, is say, well, we need women to do their part too, right? Because I think this is an element of it, right? It is two of us, but there's only one head, right? It's only one person that can lead. And what she's just talking about is why daughters need fathers in the way they do, why fathers need to be in the home, and it's kind of countercultural, especially for a woman to be talking like this. But you know, she's just kind of making the point that being a stern dad isn't a weakness. You shouldn't shy away from being stern. You need to provide. I need your direction, is what she's saying, right? So I mean, just I guess what you thought, man.
You let me jump in. You see the lack of this in society today. We started out talking about the woman who lost her life in the incident. There's a large contingent of women that are absolutely uncomfortable with masculinity, and that's why you get the virulent reaction you get to Trump, who's like ultra masculine. I mean, this guy, in less than the time it takes for me to drive from here to my in-laws, dude took over a country. Okay. He's got this muscular foreign policy that he's pursuing. We'll probably see him drop some bombs on Iran in support of those protesters later on next week. So you have like this hyper masculinity, right?
Yeah.
and you juxtapose that against what we've seen in the past few years, just take it and compare it to what we've seen in media. Look at the last Terminator movie, where they made an absolute fool out of the T-1000 or whatever the hell, the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, come on.
So
They turned
they've
into a
taken,
sim, like a puppy.
They've taken the most masculine symbols in media and inverted them, right? And then in the real world, though, you've got Trump, okay?
But
you got
Trump's a reaction. Trump is not, like you're saying, and I agree with you, but Trump's a reaction to the political landscape of the pendulum, right? We had Bush, right? And then you had the Obama shift, and he took it so hard to the left under his term that the snapback is Trump. Then Trump couldn't maintain his momentum. 2020 happens, and then Biden tries to run to the left like there's no end zone, and then you get a super snap. I'm saying that hypermasculinity is the natural bounce back from every time you try and run.
But you can't. At least I can't. And you tell me if you agree with this. I don't see any other president in my lifetime that has displayed this level of.
Reagan tried.
I don't give a shit.
Reagan tried.
Hey, Gibby, let him finish, man.
Again, in my lifetime, and that, so I'm including Reagan. I've never seen any other president with the I don't give a shit what you think. I'm going to do what I want to do. You would have, in my study, you would have to go all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt to find that.
Yeah.
No, also what's his face who used to do press conferences while he was sitting on the can.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah, was it Lyndon B. Johnson?
Lyndon B. Johnson was hyper masculine. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I would agree with you, but then beforehand,
and I will say Reagan definitely tried. Right, I'm not saying he was successful at it like Trump is, but Reagan definitely tried to have the muscular, hyper masculine posture of the American guard. Dude started a war on drugs. I mean, he sent all our military down to South America. Like, I'm just saying, like, he tried. He had his own version of it. I'm not saying it's anywhere near as successful or robust as Trump. Dude, honestly, we don't have a president who has been as foreign policy successful in multiple lifetimes. You'd probably have to go back to the end of the Second World War to have the level of foreign policy success Trump has in this term, let alone
even Eisenhower, who came back, being the Allied commander as president. Now, mind you, the world did not call for him to be the same guy he was in the war because America was the leader and he had relative peace, right? But I would agree with you that LBJ would be the latest one, before Trump.
Yeah,
he was a monster. He used to do press conferences while taking shits, dude.
What it was is he used to do the press conference while skinny dipping in the where the White House press room is.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. Yeah. Some of these presidents, that what they would do to the press, and they complain about Trump.
CT, man. CT.
Real quick. Lyndon B. Johnson
compared to some of these other ones.
LBJ used to unzip his pants and pull his member out and throw it on the desk and say, if you could pull something out as big as this, then we'll do it your way.
Oh my, what?
Absolutely. Yes, it is true. Yeah. He was a monster, man. He's the one that said, I sent you guys the quote.
I wouldn't say that and then say he was a monster afterwards. It kind of like you in the room.
Well, that was your interpretation of it, which is disturbing. But he's the one that said, remember the quote I sent you last week where he said, fuck your constitution, where he was talking to I forget which foreign country. Did you guys see that? I sent it to you in the messenger.
No, I don't know. So, shout out to Cash Flow Hustles. This is a purely secular conversation. Traditional masculinity is rooted in spirituality and biblical principles, not secularism. I do agree with that, though.
I agree with that. We're not saying that it is rooted in secularism. We're just making observations about masculinity in the secular world.
Soldiers, not only did he do the skinny dipping, dude, while he was taking a shit, he would make his advisors read him the daily brief in the morning.
I could believe that.
Lyndon
B. That was LBJ.
Dude, he held whole meetings while like in the bathroom.
I could believe it, man. That was a wild guy, and you know, we see all these folk that want to be mealy mouthed and, you know, work around the edges with all of this slick language, while the quote from LBJ was, "Fuck your parliament and your constitution. America is an elephant. Cyprus is a flea. Greece is a flea." Okay, he's talking to the Grecian ambassador. Okay. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I don't know. I don't know what I was about to say. Well, CT, I wanted to do a poll though, like to see where did you say women should be?
In their natural habitat. And guys, by the way, come over to Just the Guys, whoever's in my chat, and sub. Come to the main channel, guys. Women should be in the kitchen, bro. It's their natural habitat.
So I want to see in the chat who agrees with CT. Women should be in the kitchen. I want to go around the panel. Who agrees with that?
Yeah.
Tyrone?
They don't have to stay there.
What was the question?
He said women should be in the kitchen.
I'm not going to agree. I'm not going to agree. And you know why? Here's why. Because we're looking at it from a Western standpoint. No other country made such a big deal about women being integrated into our society. Look at Russia. Okay.
True that.
Women have been doing shit in the Russian society for centuries. Catherine the Great. Okay. So I'm not going to sign on to that. That's a Western philosophy.
That's okay. I'll take 2 votes since he won't sign on. I'll vote twice for the kitchen.
All I'm saying is I make sure my wife doesn't have to work.
And that's fine.
Eventually, I'm working towards that. But you know,
that's the goal.
New York.
You live in New York, man. Yeah.
New York.
What did they say? They said that you guys need $200,000 to be comfortable.
Yeah.
To survive, you know.
At minimum.
Mm-hmm.
At minimum. And I live north of the city now. So it's like, I mean, listen, I've told this story before about how crazy expensive New York City is. You got $11,000 a month apartments in Queens.
That's crazy.
Dead ass.
Hold on,
$11,000 a month apartments in Queens.
That's crazy. That's outrageous.
Do you understand, bro? When I saw, because I know where they are, right? They're right in this area called Hunters Point South. It's right on it's like one of the apartment buildings in this new area is on the northern banks of Newtown Creek. So it's like where Newtown Creek lets out into the East River. Okay. Some of the most beautiful views of New York City that you'll ever come across. But you're going to pay through your fucking nose for one of them. $11,000 a month for an apartment.
Sheesh, man.
Okay. And the walls paper thin. Right? Like,
wow.
That's one of the, but the thing is, you have, but like the average 1 bedroom in New York right now is like somewhere around $3 grand. I'm talking like the 11,000 is like up there, right?
But still, $3 grand.
But what you have up here is you have like middle class. The bottom line is they're chasing the middle class out of New York City.
Oh yeah,
that's what's happening. The middle class, like you got transit workers. I can't tell you, like you got transit workers who have just moved out of the city. We're talking about people, native New Yorkers, lived here all their lives, right? And where are they living? For whatever reason, they're going out to Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, Long Island, which is also expensive too. So it's just nuts up here in terms of cost of living. People got to work, man. It's nuts up here.
So I want you guys to respond to this one. The biggest problem is that men don't even want women in their natural place. They see them as equals, which is why this country will fall. Who wants to respond?
You know what? I'm with that.
That is 100% true.
I'm gonna give you. And you know what?
Are not the same, not in any way, shape, or form.
No, but with the first part, the biggest problem is that men don't even want women in their natural place.
Oh, I do my best to.
Here's. I'm gonna give you a prime example of that. Okay, and again, it's up here. It's up here in New York. New York City has more female police officers than I have ever seen in my almost 11 years of living up here. Okay. I have seen women on walking a beat, 2 women walking a beat. These chicks is 4'11", 5'1", 5'3". They're not even brolic girls anymore, right? Like, you know, these women are walking a beat like it's nothing. And I'm sitting there going, this is wrong. This is wrong. When you also have fat cops too, because if you have female cops walking a beat, and then you have fat male cops who can barely walk a fucking beat. It's that bad up here. And so without strength, we're talking about 10 to 15 years worth of programming about toxic masculinity. Anything that could be translated as quote unquote toxic, which eventually gets boiled down to any expression of masculinity, is considered toxic. Like speaking directly into someone's eye, like looking at someone in the face when you're talking to them. That's considered toxic masculinity.
Yep.
Not talking with an upward inflection and not having a voice that sounds like you're some valley girl in Los Angeles. That's considered toxic masculinity.
Yep.
Here's how you deal with that.
It's crazy.
With regard to what you were talking about, Isaiah, with the cops, okay? Have one standard. Absolute, just one standard. All right, yep. The Navy SEALs have one standard, right? And there are shitloads of dudes. Nobody on this panel could be a Navy SEAL, okay? And I'm okay with saying that, right? And that's fine.
I might can.
Well, you might be.
Give it a shot, okay? Because they'll tell you that they get these guys that come in there that are buff and they work out and they got a 400-pound bench press, and those aren't the ones that
it's hard, man.
Typically stick with it, right?
It's hard.
So
man. That's
have one standard. I don't care if it's a fire department, a police department, advertising executive. I don't care what it is, right? And if the people, because they're going to be a crap load of guys that, and nobody says anything when, like, what is it, 75 to 80% of the Navy SEALs flunk. Nobody says that's not fair, right? Mm-hmm. We only get into a question of fairness when women cannot meet like a physical standard in one of these physically demanding jobs. There is a reason why you don't find female deep sea fishermen like you see on these Alaskan fishing boats, okay? Yep. There's a reason why you don't find a plethora of women in the that whole lumber business, okay? Have you ever seen them cut one of those branches and it's got so much tension that if it hits you, it'll take your head off your shoulders, okay? Yeah. So one standard. If you can meet the standard, I don't give a damn whether you're a man or woman. If you can meet the standard, good. If you can't do it. All right. Well, this is about the job. And I don't give a damn what you are as long as you can do the job. So if I need a firefighter, for example, to drag my ass out of a burning building, all I'm concerned with is their ability to meet the conditions of the job. And if they can't, then they don't deserve the job.
Well, they don't care about that in LA, I'll tell you that.
No, they don't. And they not look at New York. Isaiah could probably talk about what just happened in New York. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, CT man, the men of the day want to want to the pet. Want
to be the pet of a woman. I guess that's what I meant.
I guess they want the pet of a woman, not to have any authority over it. It makes me sick. Do you agree with Leaked Beats? Men want
men of today
pets.
want to be the pet of a woman, not have any authority over her. I would definitely agree with that. Without a doubt. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Now, Republic Tea Room responded and said, "Leaked Beats is delusional."
I'll further answer this one.
Yep.
About 15 years ago, this is when I realized a lot of men were really weak or getting to the point of weakness. See a lot of this dumb shit every year with the whole family dressing up in these stupid Christmas costumes. I'm what kind of man with what kind of faggoty? I mean, to me, that is the gayest thing you can do as a man. You sit up there and you have some overall. You're wearing overalls with your wife in your little cushy little home and your little cushy little couch with the little dog. To me, that is the most feminine thing a man can do. And to me, it makes me feel like that woman is in control, man. Because I know I would never do it. My father, for damn sure, would never have done no shit like that. And to a degree, it's like he's a little pet. You know, like when they do, like I just saw some of my neighbors actually today. They dress up their dogs, you know, and it's like, what the fuck? Like to me, it's the most bizarre thing to do. But yeah,
what about men walking down the street with like a little chihuahua or something like?
I hate that.
Come on, man! You already know that.
First dogs are the worst, dude. First dog man is the first one you drone strike, right? Those should be targets of opportunities for every mission. Every sortie should have that as a listed target of an opportunity. Men with purse dogs.
So to correct what she was saying, hold on. To correct what Lebeat was saying, she was saying the men want to be pets of a woman. Not to have women as pets.
Don't you guys know Rogan's famous stand-up bit about women coming into a man-dominated office? So you have 5 guys working in an office, and all of a sudden they introduce a mid-tier woman, not even a super hot, just an average, everyday woman. All of a sudden, every opinion, everything, it's all the dudes bending into shapes to match whatever that one woman in the office is talking about all the time. Dude, men, the modern day of men is making themselves fit right through the hole that the women create for them. That's it, dude. Dude, when we were kids, did you ever see pictures of guys being walked around like dogs by their women ever in public?
No, that was crazy.
Time now, man. You see video of that shit. It's not AI, right? We've seen it for years now. Dude, the men are, this is what I'm saying. It is all men's fault. Everything. Because we are the ones who are at the center of it all. We have gotten weaker. We have shirked our responsibilities. We have men now who would just say, "Oh, it's all women's fault. Everything is just women's fault." Like there's a whole movement.
All right, so here's this. So I'm gonna pull this up. Happy wife, happy life. True or false?
Yes.
That's true.
I don't think so. I don't think so because here's the thing. If you go by that, then what you're doing is you're suppressing yourself, and there's no way in the hell you can go through decades of that in a marriage and truly be happy. Okay. I just don't. I've never agreed with that because I'm not. When it snowed, okay, this past few weeks, we've got our driveway is a quarter mile, and I'm in the car with my wife, and she's driving, and she's backing up, okay, and she's not in the driveway, right?
Wait a minute, hold on a second. They got driveways. They got driveways that long in Poplar Grove.
I wish. I am from that area, but where we're at now, and look, it's all white. You know, I think she's getting snow blindness or something, right? So I'm like, just stop the car, because she was actually about to hit a neighbor's car.
Oh no!
And she's like getting confused, and she's disagreeing with me, and I insisted, stop the car. Now, if I let that go, we were going to hit the neighbor's car, probably get stuck, okay, in the neighbor's yard. So that's just a small example of, no, I'm not going with this happy wife, happy life stuff.
Dude, that's not what happy wife.
So Gimpy said yes. Hold on. Gimpy said yes, happy wife, happy life. Isaiah said yes, happy wife, happy life. CT, you yes, happy wife, happy life.
No. Why does it have to be about the wife, the woman? Why can't it just be about the man? Why's everything centered around women? Like, even though oh my God, dude,
you're the provider. Your whole purpose is to build something so that they can live in it.
It's about what the man wants. And I really believe a lot of this shit started a long time ago. Even the fact that we call Africa mommy Africa and all this dumb shit. Oh, mommy Africa. What the fuck are you talking about? But you notice they don't call it mother. They don't call it Mother Russia. They call it Father.
They do call it Mother Russia.
Specifically call it Mother Russia.
No, they call it Mother Russia. Yeah.
Really? No,
yes, they do.
Mother Russia. This is, again, this is what I'm saying. Okay.
You're thinking about Germany.
Happy life. First of all,
they call Germany the fatherland.
Okay.
Germany's the
Germany is the fatherland.
I was wrong on that.
Right. Again, happy wife, happy life doesn't mean you agree to everything your wife wants. It means that you provide for her, that she has a reality, that she's safe, secure, and can go around being carefree all the time. Because that is your job as the husband.
No.
Yeah, it includes telling them.
So now we have a disagreement on the happy wife, happy life side.
Can I finish?
Happy
Let me
wife.
finish.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
It includes that you correct your wife when she's about to back up into the neighbor's yard. Not telling your wife when they're about to do something wrong is not inclusive in happy wife, happy life. Like, you're not allowed to tell them don't do something that's dangerous. Happy wife, happy life is that if you can provide properly for your wife and create an environment where she's happy, you too will find a happiness from that, because you will be fulfilled as a husband providing your husbandly needs.
That's not what it means. No. What happy wife, happy life means is some dude is just tired of her shit and is going to acquiesce to everything she says simply because he doesn't want to hear it. Okay. And so decades into the marriage, he's going to be some soulless sack of shit. Okay, who when she says, "Hey, I'm ready to go," okay, here I come. Okay, that type thing. That's what happy wife, happy life means.
Exactly. Thank you.
I'm sorry. That's how you guys want to interpret it. That is the laziest, simplest definition, man, possible.
That's the definition. That's why I don't agree with it.
Everybody uses it as an excuse for, man. That's what you can say. But if you really do it right, happy wife, happy life is that you did your job as a husband.
No, that's exclusive to that.
My wife is happy. That's exclusive to men. Right,
So Isaiah, why did you say yes, happy wife, happy life?
I mean, partially because if both the husband and the wife are happy, as long as both of us are, each other's best friends, if we're working together towards like a common good, if we're both keep our minds and hearts stayed on, like focused on God and pleasing Him in the marriage. I mean, that's what worked for my own parents who have been together for 45 years. I mean, that to me is more important than anything else. I mean, I think when it comes, like when it says happy wife, happy life, that, let me correct myself. That's the only way in which I mean it. Because if I as a man, if the woman is not happy within herself, if anybody is not happy within themselves, there's nothing that I can do as her husband to make her happy. I can simply add to her happiness. My wife will say that right now. If she's not happy within herself, it is not necessarily my job to police her, like to police her feelings, right? She's got to work that out within herself. This is what she says, right? Now, me personally, I've always I'm new to this. Like, this is our 6-month anniversary coming up tomorrow.
See, he's celebrating the 6-month anniversary.
Hell yeah. Look, listen, I love my wife. I love my wife. Kareen is the greatest thing. She's my best friend. I love this girl. You see this truck tie I got, this truck rim I got around my fucking finger. Yes, I love that girl. Anyways, sorry.
Happy 6-month anniversary.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
Look,
that is definitely a happy wife, happy life celebration.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, but again, my wife would be the first person to say that, like, what if you are not happy as a person in and of yourself, no other person can simply make you happy. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Yep.
Like you gotta be happy and centered within yourself before anybody else can add to your happiness. Because at some point it's like okay, I'm trying to make you sort of flip your emotions on a switch. I can't do that.
Yeah, and to your point, Isaiah, there are plenty of women that are being provided for that are not happy. Okay?
Exactly.
For whatever reason, right? So I don't see one thing as having to do with the other. I maintain that because you've heard the old guy. Everybody's heard the old guy. After taking some shit off of his wife. Well, guys, happy wife, happy life. Everybody's heard that, right? I've known older guys that have gone through 30 and 40 years of just, kowtowing and using that phrase as the
them just
the reason to do the justification to do that.
Yep. Hold on a second. Real quick.
Doing your job, man. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stand on that hard. Just
because you're presupposing that we're not. You're presupposing that we're not doing our jobs just because we don't believe in that.
No,
mantra.
not at all. That's not at all.
No, I didn't get that from you.
Definition of the quote. Judging other people. No, I'm saying that the dudes who use it the way you're defining it, they're using it as an excuse. But the intent of the quote is for you to do your job as a man properly. You'll create an environment where they'll be happy, and as a result, you'll feel fulfillment too, because that's your job.
Okay. Check this out, man. Check this out. Eve had paradise.
Dude, you can argue.
Hold on for a second, Gimpy, because you believe in the Old Testament, right?
Of course.
Okay, so then that Eve had paradise, and she still wasn't satisfied.
Again, Adam wasn't satisfied either. To be fair.
Adam was a fool.
Adam was
a fool.
No, Adam wasn't
Eve
satisfied.
wasn't. Because
God had to create him.
Go read the account. The account strictly says Eve talked to the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Adam talked to Eve. She told him, hey, you do this. And, some guy said, okay, the snake told Eve that she would get more if she participated. If she did this, she had paradise and she wasn't happy. And that's the first human interaction biblical story.
Actually, no, there's one before it when God creates woman for man because man is lonely. Man wasn't satisfied alone in paradise either. Or not, like, this is what I'm saying. You're trying to put the pin on women.
God,
you're trying to put the pin. Yeah, because man was lonely, because man was not satisfied in paradise alone. So I'm undermining the argument that somehow it's women were only unsatisfied in paradise.
Gimpy,
again, man was not satisfied alone. God
you guys made your points. You're not going to convince each other. You're not going to convince each other.
Let me say this. Gimpy has trying to pin it on women.
Hold on, Gimpy. Let Soldiers get his point out.
Gimpy does this thing where he doesn't want to hear your retort, so he keeps talking. So give me a second, Gimpy, and then you can have your say.
Knock yourself out, dude. Name me a story that predates man being dissatisfied.
God specifically said, God is irrelevant.
Hold on, hold on. All right, Soldiers, make your statement.
I'm trying to. Can you get Gimpy to let me? So God looked at Adam and said, he's lonely. I, God, am going to make a helpmate for him.
That's nice.
Adam didn't come to God and say, I'm lonely.
That does not matter. Your point is that woman was unsatisfied in paradise. So was man. Man was also unsatisfied.
So what is your evidence that man was unsatisfied?
God had to create him a spouse so he'd stop being lonely. Man was not complete alone in paradise.
That was a determination made by God.
So a logical point to say that because God fixed the problem, somehow it demonstrates that
God
man
identified the problem.
False comparative.
God
Man was also
identified the
unsatisfied.
problem.
God had to correct it. God didn't bother to correct woman's dissatisfaction.
Because she disobeyed God's order.
Dissatisfied. Both wanted more. Both were not.
We're not.
So let me hold on. Time out. Does loneliness? Hold on.
You can find that says that Adam said I was lonely.
So hold on. So does loneliness mean unhappy? Because does lonely automatically equate to being unhappy?
I think God, in his interpretation that Adam was lonely, not Adam's interpretation, but God's interpretation that Adam was lonely, does mean that loneliness plays a part in unhappiness, because he wanted Adam to be in paradise. Paradise presupposes that you're happy.
And man was not satisfied alone. God had to add to the creation.
And what you failed to realize, and you failed to hear, is the fact that I said that the first human to human interaction, God and Adam thinking about what he wanted for Adam. I'm talking about the first human to human. Okay, recorded interaction was
to pin it on women that it's.
Dude, I'm interpreting the Bible that you can open up right now and read.
Dude, you can say all you want. Humanity always wants more. It's not unique to one gender, and it's silly when men try and do this, because that's the reason.
Obviously,
we keep giving the power to people by saying, "Oh, look, it's this one's fault." No, just own it.
Your sticking point is that Adam, you seem to take umbrage to the fact that Adam seem to take umbrage at the fact that Adam was a fool and listened to Eve.
Look, because you didn't listen to God. That's a different problem. Those are different problems. You are talking about that he demonstrates the first dissatisfaction. They don't. God himself recognized man was not satisfied.
The first human. I don't know why you're not getting this. The first human.
All right, guys. All right. Yeah.
To human interaction, Gimpy, you're not listening.
I am 100%. That doesn't change it. You are trying
because God is not human. God is God.
And that's where from.
All right, guys. All right. So yeah, we're not going to convince each other. Some people say Gimpy is wrong. Some people say Soldiers is wrong.
One quick thing. Totally unrelated. I do want to give a quick shout to one of your commenters, and has said a badass 93 Stang says, Isaiah, you should love your wife, but she has to put the same energy in making you happy also. Congrats. Let me tell you something. That woman has done above and beyond what I could have ever asked for or thought of.
She listening right now?
I mean, she's in the other room. I'm sure she probably could hear me talk. I mean, my voice carries, but I'm saying, but I'm putting it on record. That woman has gone above and beyond everything that I could have ever. And this is, look, I've been in a lot of relationships in my time. I've had to deal with a lot of foolishness, and I've given out a lot of foolishness. I admit that. I admit that completely. But the bottom line is, my wife, Mrs. Carter, is fantastic, and I am truly thankful. That's all I got to say on that.
Well, they say, who finds a wife finds a good thing.
That's a very, very good thing.
I think everybody on the call has a good thing.
Yes,
I agree.
All right, so
I you know what?
Tell that.
True story. I actually got this cut from a Sprewell rim. Like that's how big this ring is. I came prepared, man. I want everybody to know I'm married.
There we go. There we go. All right, guys. We had a great show tonight. I think the big thing again, men have to stand up, and men should be taking action, playing the long game, playing the. I still believe we are called to, lead and save our country. I'm really excited for this year as we're celebrating America's 250th anniversary. Celebrating freedom and independence. I say it's time for everyone to become economically independent.
Amen.
Because the economic independence is what helps us avoid, this servitude and this real communist agenda that we have been subjected and subverted by. Because with economic independence, you can choose where you live, choose where you send your kids to schools, protect yourself, provide for yourself, and I think really in collaboration with America's 250th, we should really be focusing on that. On top of that, men, please get involved with the position, especially school board. Men should be involved with the school board. I'd make like that. That is one of the most important positions that we need male leadership and male influence, because these school boards are really, this is where they infiltrated a lot of the agenda. What's up, CT?
Do you think, I don't think you talked about Jamal Bryant's wife dressing like a hoe, but do you feel as though the Protestant churches, particularly the Baptist church, if it were centralized, would she have still dressed like a hoe? What do you think, Logic?
Centralized by what definition? What do you mean?
So centralized, there's a formal command.
There is
in the Baptist church. Oh, really? Okay.
But
sure.
you're not obligated to. You're not obligated to.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah,
if
so-
you don't play by the rules, you're not recognized.
So
I mean,
they have pope. So they have the equivalent of a pope, and there's a top, bottom. There's a
they do have a hierarchical structure, and Baptist convention. But like all these denominations, non-denominational. I used to play drums at a non-denominational church, and at the time, the pastor there was an elder, and he was an elder in a collective group of pastors. He recently has been elevated to the office of bishop, and now he's over other pastors, right? So there is a hierarchical structure within that, and they do have the Lutheran convention, they have the Baptist like there is a hierarchical structure to the churches. Yeah.
and I think Jamal Bryant's church is affiliated with a larger group, like
it is.
an
It's part of
AME.
it's part of
Yeah.
a nationwide thing because he's a bishop within that organization. That's how he has his bishop versus being a pastor or a reverend or whatever.
Yeah.
Did they condemn
Jamal Bryant, man?
I doubt it, man. Again, these they're all infiltrated by communists. And
yeah.
like when you go back and look at, again, I recommend everybody go back and read Manning Johnson, Color Communism, Common Sense. And in that, he just talks about how there's the subversion of the Negro pastors because, they play, generally Black culture plays on emotion. It's very emotional. And we can use that to an advantage. We can do whatever you want with it, but it's just the facts. And there's always this kind of rhythmic and cadence to the way Black people generally receive information. And there's always these kind of small little phrases. That's why my body, my choice and Black Lives Matter, these phrases really resonate with, Black people because they're simple, repeatable. And the Black church is where a lot of that call and response, simple phrases, that's where a lot of the rhythmic, messaging came from. So the communists infiltrated the church to get, the masses on board with the idea of communism. That's why you got these things. Jesus was a socialist, and the Black church is just
an immigrant, right?
Yeah, like all these other things. So to answer your question, and then Jamal Bryant. Now, if you look at his church logo, it's a cross with a fist.
Right.
And
also.
And if you go in and just look up the Negro question from the communist, like there is a documented plan called the Negro question, answering the Negro question that the communists used the Black church as a tactic. So,
and I'll say this too, even with the Catholic Church, which you would think, okay, highly organized, 2,000-year-old history, but you got priests in that organization. This guy, Father Flager from Chicago. Have you ever heard of him?
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's like a really radical left guy. He was back. I don't know. He might have retired, but he was out there with what was Obama's minister's name?
Jeremiah Wright.
Jeremiah Wright. They
Right.
were like thick as thieves. So in every one of these hierarchies, you find the elements of what Logic just said. And even you go back to Margaret Sanger and how she co-opted black ministers to actually preach a doctrine of abortion in the black community. Okay, so while it is true that if you're a Protestant, you can open a church tomorrow, and there's no there's nobody that's going to come and say you need to be a part of this governing body. But at the same time, there are governing bodies in the Protestant or faiths.
I mean, it's hierarchy. I mean, I think, to the point Gimpy was making earlier, you always want to have someone telling you what to do type thing. Because there's just always hierarchical structure. So in pretty much every church, well, most churches, there is some level of hierarchical structure, whether it be mentorship or what have you. But back to your question, CT, he wasn't condemned, and he will not be. Again, because the liberalism, socialism influence runs rampant in the church.
Did it look nice to you guys? Did it look nice?
I mean, look, man, I'm not gonna lie.
You talking about that's
I'm not gonna lie, man. I think women are beautiful if they're I like the shape of women. I like I just like that. But but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Right. And I will look at her, but I think I don't think that's appropriate for a man's wife.
Right.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
Jamal Bryant is the biggest. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And since all of us are from Baltimore, we've known about this dude. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jamal Bryant's a piece of shit.
Yes.
He's a piece of shit. The reason why he got thrown out of Club Empowerment Temple is because he couldn't keep his dick in his pants. Because he kept sleeping around with all the other women in there. His own father was the one who got him out of that church.
Really?
Yes.
I thought that was PFK Boom, that when he was trying to stand in front of them cars on 395, and PFK Boom ran up on him in the hood when he. So it doesn't
chase him away.
Jamal Bryant is a fucking charlatan. It doesn't surprise me that he had his wife, or if that was even his wife, because we know this nigga, we know how this nigga get down. If that was his wife, the fact that he had his wife, he was advertising his wife.
Yeah.
For everybody to see in that fucking dress.
Yeah.
Listen, I have nothing, I am not one for policing how a woman should dress. But at some point, there's got to be some type of fucking boundary. Okay? This dude had her dressed up like, we going swinging later.
Yeah.
That's what that looked like to me.
Yeah.
They were going to a $10,000 a plate fundraiser, right? Like, you have to understand, they're not thinking in the again, you think like a normal person, Isaiah, right? Like Logic, they see this. This is an event where their main character syndrome forces them to have to wear the thing that makes them stand out, the thing that makes them talk. When he knew exactly what he was doing. It was intentional. That
was a $10,000 a plate dinner?
Yes, the United Negro College Fund and the HBCU.
Were they serving his wife up?
I don't know, man, but that's one of those big black tie affairs that they all go, and it's all about politicking. And he's we raised $4 million, right? Like, you're supposed to ignore it because they're all there as main characters. They're all there to sell their brands, peacocking. He just wanted to walk this first woman on every camera to take pictures. He wanted to be in every headline. He got exactly what he wanted. preaching about it. He's going to get to fundraise off of it. He's going to get to use pictures of his wife in that dress for years to come. And it was his intent from the beginning. He saw that dress. He knew how provocative it is. He didn't buy it because it wasn't provocative. He bought it specifically for that.
And you said you said he raised $4 million. So guess what? Mission accomplished.
That's what I'm saying. He in his mind feels justified. He did what he was supposed to do.
He got $4 million.
Wife out. He got the rich people to open their wallets. I was successful. I fundraised. This is the 401c3 mafia, man. This is how it works. This is what we're talking about.
If I buy one more plate of food, I might be able to see what Mrs. Bryant's nipples look like.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And you know, Gimpy always says toasters, right?
Look at this shit. Look at this.
There's another element to it, Gimpy. Like toasters, you're right, but then it's this craven attitude too that you get from these people that are like the gatekeepers and the orchestrators of the nonsense, right? And look, his parish or church or whatever, they're going to stand behind this. Okay,
yes,
they're going to stand behind this.
Dude, how about this? Look at this picture. You notice CT brought, and one CT said it, I couldn't unsee it, but if you look at the dress, what are all the lines on the dress pointing at? Every single line on that dress ends where? Where does every line land? Dude, it's literally a dress that is coming out of her crotch.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And
I didn't even notice that. CT said something the other day, man. Like that's
what's really crazy to me is that this guy is her so-called husband that would be comfortable with displaying his wife like that. Yeah, he did. You're right.
Getting that money. You get that money. That's what that is.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. There is a culture in this country of no consequences. There was a day where if a pastor brought his wife or a preacher or a bishop brought his wife dressed like that to a fundraiser, he'd be shamed out of his parish. Now he's cheered for being a trailblazer.
That's what I'm saying, man. That whole communist influence, and honestly, a lot of the congregation in these churches are women.
Oh yeah.
You know, when you look at the ratio of males,
hey girl, that's what they all say to each other,
and that's why it works. Right? And that's really why it works.
True story about Jamal Bryant and about women in his church. An old story from my ex-wife. Okay, my ex mother-in-law used to tell me about when Jamal Bryant used to preach at the church that she used to go to. Okay. This month, Jamal Bryant would come. First off, the fact that he came from all the way over west to Israel Baptist was one thing. Okay. Right there on the corner of what is that? Washington and Biddle. So he already coming from cross town. So you know that's a no-no in Baltimore to begin with. But anyways, Jamal Bryant actually used to come with an entourage of women, okay? And when he came to preach, when Jamal Bryant came to that church to preach, these chicks that he brought with him had t-shirts that said "Preach, Black Man, Preach," and that was the thing that they kept, because you know when you're in for the benefit of your audience, if you're in the black churches and you know the pastor goes, and we're talking about this and all that great and right and you know, and they, of course they're getting all the emotions worked up, and that's when he had the amen corner saying, "Preach, black man, preach." This dude is a piece of work, man. So you know what? It don't surprise me that Jamal Bryant would have his wife out here looking like hey, you know, looking like a piece of beef.
You know what surprises me about it is not him. It's not him. It's the people that that follow him, right? That's that's the part that's got me like really curious, is what is his mindset that is so susceptible to following this dude.
I think it goes back to Gimpy. It's a comfortable mindset where one, somebody's telling you what to do, but then what they're telling you to do feels good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course it feels good because you get the satisfaction of them patting you on the head because you are a good lemming. And they say,
Right.
good job, lemming. Keep lemming it up. I'm like, dude, this is the problem. No one wants to take responsibility for their life. That is the biggest problem. No one is talking about this lady in Minnesota for why are you even in a secure perimeter with ICE officers with your car protesting instead of on the sidewalk out of the way like you're supposed to? Why are you confronting them directly? These are armed officers of the law. Like there was a day and age we were smart enough to know that I might get shot doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Not only that, think about this, Gimpy. Okay, so you're out there protesting the ICE officers that are carrying out these arrests, right? Okay. But they're just cogs in the machine. You could protest them all you want. You're not changing anything. It's just like when they had the Freddie Gray riot here and they tore up Mondawmin and the CVS down on Penn North. It was like, don't you take your grievance to City Hall? I mean, it's right down the road.
They burn down their own neighborhoods. Right.
I used to live right down there too, man.
Dude, I got locked in on
not too far. That's part of my childhood, not too far from there either.
Nah, but dude, no.
You got locked in where?
In Security Boulevard in a CMS building when they were rioting for Freddie Gray.
Oh man!
Wow.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Right,
Wow.
and so I was looking out the window, dude. I shit you not. The riot came literally to the edge of the neighborhood, which is across Security Boulevard, and they didn't even move an inch towards all the federal buildings that they could have went. Literally, they stayed on the other side of the street, like there was an invisible force field keeping them. There was no security, no police. There were the fences, sure, but there were hundreds of them. They could have easily stormed the fences and gone and hit all these federal buildings with all this. Dude, they burned down their thing. They smashed the shop. They stayed on the opposite side of the street. They never once even tried to cross the street. It was like mind-blowing. For hours, we were trapped in there watching this crowd not move anywhere near the building, but just sit out there.
It's funny, man, how one CT question, man, extended the show for another 20 minutes. But like I said, guys, I do want to get out of here, man, because we gotta go, man. 2.5 hours. Dang. But it is
2.5 hours, and we got a Gimpy Tyrone fight. We hadn't had one.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
We needed that.
But guys, it's very important, man. The communists are playing the long game, and one of them, any war, you always want to remove the men. Now, whether men are stepping away voluntarily or by force, man, I think either way, we have to go back to executing our authority. And masculinity is a good thing. The last clip I want to play, and we're not really discussing it, but because this is very, very important. This is how the communists have been playing the long game. Now, as a result of Trump hitting or capturing Maduro, the Democratic Socialists of America, which Zoran Mamdani is a member of, had the Hands Off Venezuela call, in which they go talk about how we're going to activate and all this other stuff. But I want you guys just to understand how serious this is and really why it's important to get involved locally. Understand what your kids are doing, what your kids are involved with, the indoctrination they're getting at these colleges. Because I want you to hear, this is what he was closing with right here.
We have more members than socialist organizations have had in many decades. So this is a time to show up on the streets, to take action in all the ways that we heard just now. And it's a time to join an organization. DSA is an organization that's very easy to join. So if you're not already a member, this is a part of the call where often we'll do a little poll to see how many of you are not members yet. If you're not a member of DSA yet, please join. Check out your local chapter. There's a lot you can do to plug in, even if it's just giving us the dues and joining and participating in what chapters are doing on the ground. So we hope to see you on the streets. And please keep up the pressure, and we're going to keep building it together, and we're going to take down the empire from within.
Take down the empire from within. Guys, this is what we're up against. And it really is time to take our country back. And I'm excited. We're going to have some fun doing it. But guys, get your tag. CT, go around the horn. CT, man, tell people where to find you, man. Appreciate you joining tonight. Where can people find you, bro?
Thank you so much, man. Over at Chaotic Truth Live. Guys, salute to you all, man. In the chat, thank you so much.
Right on, Isaiah, man. Thank you for joining. Where can people find you, bro?
Thank you. You can find me at Isaiah L. Carter. You can also find us at Apostate Radio. We broadcast Sunday nights at 8 p.m. We will not have a show this week. It's my 6-month wedding anniversary. But next week on the 18th, we will be having Kira Davis on. So looking forward to hosting that lady. She's a big voice down there in Texas, I believe she is. So we're hyped up for that. Can't wait to see y'all once again. Apostate Radio. Please check us out on YouTube. Subscribe, and of course do all the stuff like and hit the notification bell, all that good stuff.
All right, on Soldiers, man. Where can people find you?
Soldiers of Finance, right here on YouTube.
Oh, nice. Short, sweet. Okay. Gabby, where can people find you, man?
North Avenue.
You ain't never gonna catch him inside Baltimore city limits.
Thank you. Positive vibes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Happy anniversary, Isaiah. I'll
Absolutely.
probably be on CT's panel or pushing buttons for MCM shows.
There we go. There we go. And I'm Logic, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Remember, only monkeys litter. We out.